Hello viewers, you are watching International Wild. Kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notification of the latest uploaded videos.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has warned that war is coming to Russia after 3 drones were downed over Moscow. The Russian Defense Ministry blamed Kyiv for that attack. Drones have reached the heart of the Russian capital in recent months, though they've not caused major damage. Russian aggression has gone bankrupt on the battlefield. Today is the 522nd day of the so-called special military operation, which the Russian leadership expected to last for a week or two. Ukraine is getting stronger gradually. The war is returning to the territory of Russia, to its symbolic centers and military bases, and this is an inevitable, natural and absolutely fair process. Russia says that Ukraine has launched another drone strike on its soil. The attack targeted a police building in a district in Bryansk region. No injuries have so far been reported, so we will go to Moscow for this. It could be hinting at a new strategy from the side of Ukraine in which it wants to involve basically the Russian population more into this war, because until now Russia's population hasn't felt much of the war, and these drone attacks in Moscow and the political and economical heart of Russia could of course put pressure from the Russian population on President Putin, but this is so far of course pure speculation. He hasn't said anything like that, but this is what you could read into it. They have also not officially claimed these attacks on Moscow on Sunday, but while Russia's population is not feeling much of the war here in Ukraine, of course it's a completely different story. Every day the Ukrainian population feels the results of the war. There are attacks nearly every day, and as we speak, just before we went on air, there was an attack in Cleveland where also a residential building has been hit again. We have not heard of any casualties there, but the damage is really significant, and also in Kherson we have heard this 1 dead and 2 injured of also an attack early this morning, and here in Kyiv where we are today, last night there were 2 hits as well, one in the city and the warehouse. 1 person got injured and one outside of the city close to the Russian border where a private house was hit. According to the Russian side, a Ukrainian drone struck a police station with no casualties there. Their attack took place in the border Bryansk region, as you say, so basically that's the official information we have, so people are getting used to wake up to the news like that. Unfortunately, also earlier on today a UAV crashed in a farm near Taganrog in the southern Russia, and according to local residents a car called fire and one of the houses was damaged, and there are also reports that the locals had to cope with the consequences of that tag themselves. They had to extinguish the flames themselves, then the emergency workers and firefighters joined them, and no casualties were reported there, but some people were panicking though. That's according to the reports. Russia is big and very diverse, but at the level of anxiety is growing of course, as people are worried about a possible new round of mobilization due to lengthening the draft age in the country, about regular drone attacks on the border regions and even on Moscow as like yesterday. At the same time, some people don't even care, especially those who watch Russian TV, because most channels simply ignore the news about their attacks on the Moscow city yesterday on July the 30th, and Russian President Vladimir Putin was informed about the drone attack on the Moscow region and Moscow, but at the same time he participated in the Navy parade in St. Petersburg, hosting several African leaders, so basically it's a signal for most people it's just business as usual. All these air attacks, the war on the ground is ongoing, and this counter-offensive that Ukraine started over a month ago is still intensifying. What we are looking at here is 2 different front lines, one in the south where Ukraine have made some advances, but also here close to Kyiv in the northeast. On Sunday the deputy defense minister announced really heavy fighting here in this area. Russian forces have really been pushing hard, she said, but Ukraine has managed to recapture those positions. We can't independently confirm this, but this is coming from the Ukrainian government, so that the counter-offensive is really picking up, I have to say. So there's really heavy fighting here. We don't hear much about any casualties or how exactly these advances are going, but this is definitely happening right now. Thank you very much.